Hi, welcome to another video. We're going to go ahead and get started. So today's project, it has to do with contours. Now, 6th grade is going to be doing blind contours, and 7th grade is doing cross contour lines. Remember, cross contour lines meaning the vertical and horizontal. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it, and we're going to go ahead and put the camera onto the table. If you have any questions, make sure to contact me as soon as you have the questions so that we can go ahead and figure out your answer and help you get through it. Now, if you hear a lawnmower in the background, I am very, very sorry. I cannot control when they actually do the gardening, but I do need to get this video out to you so you can get started. So let's get to the table. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about contours. Contours are the outside edges of an object. So if you were to if you were to use your pencil to trace the shadow of this little dinosaur, you would see the shadow down here. This shadow, the silhouette, is a contour example. So if I turn it, it changes what the object's shadow looks like. So it changes the contours created and shown by the light. The thing is, for a continuous line drawing, we want to include the contours of other parts of the body as well. Instead of just the shadow, we want to include parts like these legs and the opening, if you can see it when you're drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and place him right up here, and you can still see his shadow right there. And I'm going to go ahead and draw his contours. Now, this is the assignment you guys should all have been doing yesterday. Is do one continuous line. Now notice I messed up right there and I skipped, but I'm going to try and keep one continuous line. Now in your case, yours is going to be just a little bit different, and obviously it's not going to turn out exactly the same, because as you're drawing, you're going to realize that you might have made something bigger, something smaller, and you can't really go back and correct. Now, that is a continuous outline. So if I want to do a regular continuous contour, I'm going to go ahead and start again right here at his little face, and I'm going to go ahead and follow the line of his body. This time, I'm not going to lift my pencil in any way as I draw his shape. Now, if I want to include the eye, I would have to continue inwards, and you can go back over your lines a little bit, but I do want to see if you show the line. So in this case, I'm going to go up and back down and up and back down, and there we go. And now you have all four of his little legs and his body. So for the next one, the blind contour, which is the one that you should be on today, I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way. The blind contour means that you're not going to be actually seeing what you're drawing. Now, there are multiple ways to do it. The first one is obviously close your eyes and try to draw it. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes, and I'm going to try to draw him from memory. And obviously, it's not going to come out exactly the way he was before. So obviously, that's not what the dinosaur looks like. I tried to get the little head, I tried to get the tail, and it just didn't quite work. And that's okay. It's supposed to be oddly shaped. So let's go ahead and try it again. I'm going to try it again with my eyes closed. Now, you can track it with your finger, and that can sometimes help. Because you can feel if you cross a line. Is it going to come out the same? It's a little bit closer, but it's still not great. The thing is, the next option, obviously these are coming out a little bit small. We want to make them larger. So another option for you to do, and I'm going to go ahead and get this other piece of paper right here, but the other option is to take a scrap piece of paper, poke a hole through the center, and then use that to cover your hand while you're trying to draw. This time, we're going to be looking at the object, and you can see the little dinosaur this time. Instead of closing my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and turn the paper, and I'm going to draw following the shape of the little dinosaur. I'm going to draw with my hand covered. And I'm going to try and draw it as big as I can. And the paper tore a little bit underneath, but that's okay. So it's still better. It's not quite big enough. We're going to get bigger. So 1, 2, 3, we want to have 8. So I'm going to keep going and we'll be back when we have all 8. Okay, so as you can see, I have this mess right here. Now, this is when you draw approximately 8 to 10 different versions of the blind contour. Again, you're drawing it blind, that's why it's not really quite matching. So what you're going to do at this point, now we're going to include some line variation. Remember, line variation means that the lines are extra thick in some spots and extra thin in other spots. Now, since I just used the regular pencil, the spaces are all the same line. All the lines are the same thickness. So I'm going to go through, pick some random areas and make them thicker, and then take them back in and fill them in. And as you do that, what's going to happen, as you thicken some of the lines and leave others skinny, it's going to start making it more and more interesting to look at. Now you can use whatever, let's say you have markers or pens that you want to use, you can 100% use those. But I want you to make sure that you're including areas that are thicker and thinner. Thicker and thinner. And you can decide which areas it's going to be. That's up to you. As you make your lines thicker and thinner and adjust the line variation, the line weights. So if you're literally making your lines heavier, so the line weights, it's going to start looking more and more interesting. So if you reach an end point right here, you can have it taper out and then come back in, and then just fill in the space in between. So you can make these as thick or as thin as you desire. And you're just going to do the same thing all over your entire paper. And we will come back on, we will have a video tomorrow on what you can do to finish this project off. This is where you should be by the end of today.